Sip Raji, Sip Tina, Sip Girish, Sip Varita, Sip Samatma, Sip Komal, Sip Kishan, Sip Bliss, Sip Karan, Sip Raju, Sip Rekha, Sip Aham, Sip Rumataji, Sip Ansul, Sip Sukeshni, Sip Sarla, Sip Anand Ki Khoj, Sip Lakshmi, Sip Murugaraj, Sip Krishna, and the rest who I can't see. Welcome to this lovely evening of Asker. And we have an interesting subject today, Administrator. The subject of discussion today, God is formless. Then why do we worship God with a form? God is formless. Then why do we worship God with a form? Let us start. Who would like to start? We have got today the participants. I'm just getting my other phone ready. Yes. Administrator, please start. My phone is switched off. So who is the person who's starting?
Rutanu.
Rutanu. Please start, Rutanu.
Shivoham Guruji.
Shivoham.
So Guruji, we are worshipping through God. We are not worshipping God. We are not worshipping Shiva. We are worshipping through Shiva.
No, that is what you are telling, and you are doing that now. But the topic is not about what you are doing now. The topic is about what the world is doing and how you were doing before you realized the truth. God is formless. God is formless, and why do we worship God with the form? So do you still worship God? You still worship Shiva or not?
No, I worship through Shiva. I worship Sip.
Then you are saying that you have gone beyond this question. Okay, so if you worship through Shiva, explain. Since you're the first one, we have Komal, Rumataji, Krishna, and Vanita. Or maybe you should come back in the second round and say why you worship, what you are trying to say, because you're going away from the question. The question is God is formless.
Guruji, one more thing is there that we are when we are born, like we are molded as such that whatever gods our parents are worshipping, we continue to worship that till we come
Now you're
to
saying the right.
realization of-
Now you're coming to the point, right?
Yeah.
So you do worship. When God is formless, then why do we worship God with a form? Why? Because your parents worship.
Yeah, because
Or is
that
there
is
some
the
other
first
reason?
step. No, that is the first step. We see them praying and we imbibe that.
And then when you grow big?
And then when we meet a guru like you, then only we can realize that it's formless.
Okay, let us move forward. Komal, Rumataji, Krishna, and Vanita. But Ruth, an interesting start. Let us see how it goes. Okay. Yes.
Rumataji.
Rumataji. Rumataji, बताइए. Pranam.
Pranam Guruji. Guruji, I feel in the beginning it is all right to pray, but later on we don't need any form and shape.
But why do we pray? We are
Because
saying God is. Why do we pray to worship God with a form? Why? And should we? Should we not?
we should not. We should not, but we do because we have seen our elders to do it.
But even today, billions of people around the world are praying to a
But
God with the
Guruji,
name and form.
now I don't pray. Now I don't pray. Now
When you come to
I
temple, you don't pray.
No, I pray that we come for bhajans, to listen your bhajan, beautiful,
But you still
heart-catching
pray to.
bhajans.
But you
But
pray to the statue.
no, we pray beyond that. Now you have taught us supreme immortal power. After
Okay.
coming in contact with you, Guruji, we have improved. Now, earlier I used to do puja, Radha
But
Krishna, all
both
in my
Ru-
temple. but now I don't do it.
But Ruth Anu and Ru Mataji, you are going away from the question. The question is God is formless. Then why do we, means not just you and me, why does the whole world, why do we worship God with a form? So we must try to understand this because this will help us in the journey of enlightenment. It will help us in the journey of God realization.
Guruji, because people have faith in religion and they listen to all the epic stories and everything. So they think of form only and pray.
Yeah, because even now Deepavali, everybody is celebrating Deepavali. And then we had a session. We had a session on that day on mythology. We had a session of Ram and Ravan. We had a session.
Yes, Guruji.
So
people are continuing the same thing, old things, which they have seen earlier.
Because what happens, my problem is, why do I have this question today? The problem is, because of this, we are going away from God. We are going away and away and away from God. That is the problem I am having. So, Administrator, who's next? Is it Komal or who's next?
Komal.
And after that? Who after that?
Krishna.
Okay, Komal and Krishna. Because I lost my connection. Sometimes the connection gets cut. Komal and Krishna.
Yes. Namaste, everybody. Shivoham. My answer was similar to Rutanu and Ru Kiran. In other words only, like due to wrong religious conditioning, first of all, that is the primary reason, and then ignorance. These two things.
Actually, your answer is right, but there are 10 answers.
Yeah.
There may be 10 answers to this question. So I want you all to explore all the answers because all the answers will help you. Okay, so that's what we are trying to do. Krishna, let's try to get more, let's not stick to the same answers. There are many more answers. Why we are praying to a God with a form. Krishna.
Shivoham, sir.
Yes.
Sir, my answer would be to start with, we did, most of us in our system, we started with a personal God. Then, dire, dire, we heard the stories of mythology. We started falling in love with that God. We started, understanding what is bhakti. We started and dire, dire, we move forward. So it depends upon your spiritual maturity. Then our quest or your studies or your perseverance leads you further and further. Earlier, it was only the form God, and without the form God, as a child, you don't understand the abstract, formless God. So we need a form to understand the abstract. And then now with an understanding, then our love and devotion has moved, and now we want to understand the truth. So till we realize, we stick on to the form. And once you realize, we turn inwards, then we don't require the form. And I want to, one of your earlier lines with religion, I want to, tweak that. With form, without form, you will not reach God, and with form, you will not reach God.
Beautiful. Very well said, Krishna. So every time we do a rehearsal of a topic, and this topic is, see, let me tell you one thing. Ultimately, in this call, our ultimate goal is what? Maybe we begin with eternal bliss, misery, overcoming misery. Who am I? What is my purpose? But what is the ultimate goal of this call?
Realization, liberation, and unification.
Yes. The ultimate goal is God.
Yes.
The ultimate goal is to realize God is.
Yes, sorry. So my experience, even I never could even say Shivoham. I thought Shivoham is some outside God. But now when I understand what is Shivoham, the God within us, now it has so much of, it's so meaningful. Every time I say Shivoham, it makes me nearer to or closer to Sip. So now the realization is, so I don't require a form. Earlier, maybe even Hare Rama, I used to sing in a different perspective. Now Hare Rama is in a different perspective. So it's all your spiritual growth.
Okay, good. Next administrator, who's next? Is it Vanita or?
Vanita.
Vanita Shayad Premchand, is that right? Yes. Vanita.
Shivom Guruji.
Yes.
As everyone says, we are conditioned. So we used to go to the temple. But now that this thing has changed, having come to this call, we know that God is, we have accepted the existence of God everywhere. But still, sometimes we go because of our old practice. That is not to see the form. We know now pretty well that SIP is everywhere. SIP is that is the source, the energy is the source. So we know that. Though we go to temple because of our practice, sometimes we do go to the temple. Now, not to see the form.
So I'm asking you one more question.
So the existence of God.
Is it okay? Is it okay to go to temple or not okay to go to temple?
No, but we must first accept the existence of God, and the devotion will, the love will follow after that only. When you accept the existence of God everywhere, then the love develops towards God, and then you climb up the ladder.
So then it's okay to go-
You don't need a form, no, because we
No,
are
you
SIP
don't
and SIP
need a
is
form.
outside.
But can you go to
No.
temple or you should not go to temple?
No, that is what I said. I sometimes go, not to see the form or anything of that sort, but sometimes I go and the form is not my first this thing. Because of my practice, sometimes I go, that is all. Not regularly, that is all stopped now.
Good. I want you to remind me. I hope I can get a minute on explaining this to you as to what we should do, what we should not do. But good. All answers are in the right direction. We have Shair, Premchandji, Girish. Shair.
Sir Pranam, sitting at a very blissful place, I can see. We have been discussing, sir. The first and foremost is the mind and ego. So that realization is not that we are a God. Then we also know Pirlu is very important. When this realization happens, even though I go to temple, I pray on the form, but I don't know I'm sticking up there. My journey is still Mumukshutva should be there. So that the next Vidya to Avidya I should go. That's why it's step by step. Religion has made God for some reasons. For us also it is fine. But I'm not sticking up to him कि only गणपति को ही अगर मैंने नारियल फोड़ा तो काम होगा. नारियल तो अपने पे फोड़ोगे तो काम हो जाएगा बोले. You because you yourself also are God. So in that reason we should think step by step कि on that 8th step where we are. So every step dhyan dharana samadhi is important. Focus is very important. Then the focus becomes you and God are one. Then you will realize, oh, I am myself am God only.
So why then, very beautifully said, each of you is adding one layer to the discussion, right? So Shair added one layer, Vanita added a layer, Krishna added a layer. Everybody, right from the beginning, we've been adding layers. Rumataji, Rutanu. Now the question, God is formless. Then why do we worship God with form? Any more answers? Shair, anything? Can you give answer to this in one? So God is formless or God is not formless?
If he is formless, but then we use form so that our focus is there. We don't get diverted to other things. The mind and ego should focus.
So you see, all of you are very evolved. If you notice the people in this call, many people who are new, who are not speaking, who are not even on visual, but they will learn as to what we are talking. But it's very important for us in this call to understand who is God, where is God, what is God. Does the world understand? The world doesn't understand. The world is so caught in rituals. There is so many rituals, so many superstitions, so much dogma, so much puja part, which is no meaning. I told you, when Maharaj called me and told me my pichla janam, my last janam, I had done Gau Hatya. And he told me I must do puja of Sone ki Gai. Just today I was recalling this incident and how like a ullu. So I have ullu. So very bad ignorance. So somebody, I think, who said the word ignorance? I think somebody mentioned the word.
I told you.
Yeah, so there's avidya, there is habit. Somebody used the word there is habit. Somebody used the word how as children we need God. So there are so many reasons. But what is the ultimate? Today in the call, we have to reach the ultimate. What to do, what not to do. Should I go to temple? Should I do arati? So these are several questions we have to answer. And today we will try to get to the root. Premchandji, Girish, Samatma. Premchandji, Girish, Samatma.
Shivoham Gurudev.
Sir.
Oh, it is due to the lack of spread of good knowledge. That's why so much temples are being erected even now, just like a kindergarten. So people feel their ethicity as soon as they go mandir, ring the bell and हाथ जोड़ा और छुट्टी हो गया. उससे आगे उनको समझाया नहीं कि even our मतलब top most मतलब religious leaders do not tell us that God is within you. मतलब you should try to find out within you. But so many temples are being erected. I think in last 20 years, 1,000 temples, masjids, churches have been erected, and people feel their ethicity as soon as you go and pray for 5 minutes. 90% of the people are simple living and imandar. They do not bother what would happen next time and how do we get enlightenment. No one has said so far that the government in public general that the God is within you and try to find out. No one has even we have created the Shivam temple. What for? So that's why we do not want that in general public should get that knowledge, and it requires the intervention of the government. When the Hindu government will come, then there are chances that they open too much gurukuls. They open what is religion and what beyond what the next step. So until and unless is there, the people will find ethicity at the go to temple, ring a bell and आज जोड़ा प्रभु मुझे मेरे ऊपर दया करना. इसलिए वो इससे ऊपर फॉर्मलेस सब जगह देख लीजिए आप, हर जगह God is in one form or other form. The God is worshipped by doing an arti and giving a one bhajan. गायन मतलब 2 भजन गाया, आरती करी और they feel their ethicity. They are not being told, they are not being advised, they are not being मतलब ये ignorance and जो अपना आपका वो अविद्या अस्मिता अभिनिवेश. No one knows what is ignorance, what is avidya, what is klesh, what is mato. So these are not being in the public, do not know at all. So when they do not know at all, that is the last day that they go in a temple daily. I used to go temple for the last 20 years. मतलब जब भी गया था.
When you realize God is within you, when you came to know God is within you and not in the temple.
वो तो मैंने रजनीश को पढ़ा था, उसके बाद से मेरे दिमाग में आ गया था कि the God is there, God is inside you. But there were so many hindrances, so many social problems, so many parental problems. So I could not go, and in Kota I did not find any good guru. So I remained there. But otherwise, in up to 80, I went 20 years to the temple. Then I deliver automatically मतलब छूट गया मेरे से अपने आप ही टेम्पल पे जाना. मैं कभी मैंने 2 महीने में कभी चला जाऊं, otherwise no need. But how many people? So that is the lack of spread knowledge. देख लीजिए अभी राम मंदिर बन रहा है. उसके पहले गुजरात में शिव मंदिर बना था. अभी उसके पहले नाथ द्वारा में शिव मंदिर बहुत ऊंचा बन रहा है. तो जब हम फीड यही कर रहे हैं, we are feeding only that the God is there in the temple. So how can one realize that he should
very beautiful,
that the God is within you? How can one realize when he is not being told?
Premchand ji has given a very beautiful answer, very deep answer.
Yeah.
And Premchand ji, this is the reason why today in this world there is no love, there is no compassion. Because if we come to know कि प्रभु हर इंसान में भगवान है, there will be no युद्ध, there will be no war.
We are not being told. We are not being advised by the spiritual leaders. We are not being told by even Jagat Guru Shankaracharya that what is compassion, what is it on the simple. And 90% people live in the simple life. 10% ही बेईमान होता है आदमी, गुरुदेव इससे ज्यादा नहीं होता है. मगर तो वो 90% मंदिर जाकर के अपना काम पूरा कर लेता है. He does not bother what would happen in the next life and what is next life. So the education, spread of education of this subject is necessary.
Okay.
Until Otherwise people will never go beyond kindergarten.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Premchandji. It's very, I would like to comment after Premchandji finishes. If the Premchandji has given a very deep answer, a very deep answer, he even questioned why I made a Shiva temple. When I made a Shiva temple 28 years back, I thought Shiva was God. And when the moment I realized Shiva is not God, I changed the name to Shivoham temple. And Shivoham temple is teaching people Shiva is inside you. Every day in the Shivoham temple, we are teaching people. People are coming to pray Shiva, but we are teaching Shivoham. People are coming to pray Shiva, but we are teaching Shivoham. Yeah, but the people are not, the majority are not teaching, the majority are caught in the myth. So very interesting, very deep answer from Premchandji. Thank you. Thank you, Premchandji. It was a deep answer. Girish and Samatma.
Only for those persons who are realized God is formless. For the rest, he is not formless.
Correct.
So they worship God with the form.
So that is neat. There's nothing wrong in that. It's perfectly okay.
Yes.
Because unless you worship God in a form, you will never realize God is formless. But the problem, Girish, is when we are worshipping God with a form and we become addicted to the form and we become fanatic, and we start believing only my Bhagwan is Bhagwan and your Bhagwan is not Bhagwan, then there's a big problem. Then you are caught in ignorance. And if you're caught in ignorance, Girish, then there is no way out.
At one stage, like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, you will have to take the sword and cut the Kali.
Correct. So that's why I told you today's topic, don't underestimate this topic. Again, I will bring this topic after 1 month or 2 months. I have to bring this topic to you all every now and then. I have to bring the topic of avidya. I have to bring the topic of neti tattvamasi. I have to bring the topic of Jivan Mukta. I have to bring the topic of Aham Brahmasmi. I have to bring this topic of God is formless in different ways. Every time I have to bring, because what is my goal? I want you all to be absolutely clear. If you go to the temple, like Vanita said, who said, I go to the temple. Okay, you go to the temple, but what are you praying to? Whom are you praying? What are you saying? That is important. If you're just going to a temple and you're saying, Prabhuji, I'm looking for the best coconut for you. I want you to be happy because I'm baking the best coconut. Or you're looking for the most, bringing many people, they tell, I'm buying Swiss, they tell me, bring Swiss milk. I say, what will you do with Swiss milk? Bring 1 dabba of Swiss milk. I want to do loti with Swiss milk. I say, what is this? You're laughing, na? How many people you have heard? Tell me, how many people have you heard saying, bring Ganga Jal for me? How many people have you heard? Bring Ganga Jal. If somebody dies, they'll say, Ganga Jal lao, Ganga Jal lao. Have you heard or not heard? So where are we caught? Where are we caught in this myth and this whole complication of God being with a form or without form? Who is God? Where is God? How can we reach that? How can you reach that situation of realizing God? Yes, Girish.
People who are yet to realize who is God, where is God, what is God, will have to continue worshipping till they realize, or they take the spiritual path.
Yeah, so the moment we realize that God is not the God in a temple or a church or gurdwara or synagogue, that will help us in the talash. So we have to spend the same time, instead of just doing some puja part, we have to spend the same time in a talash. We have to spend the same time in meditation, in contemplation. कि प्रभु कौन है? ढूंढू प्रभु कहाँ है तू? I used to sing Bholenath, ढूंढू प्रभु कहाँ है तू? So very important to find God, search God, want God, go in quest of God. Unless you do all that, why we are talking about God today? So many people, oh, what is this topic? What is that? No, every topic may look silly in the beginning. Not a single topic of Zoom call has become useless. If you notice, not one single topic. Every topic leads to a profound realization. So today we have it's a good beginning. Thank you, Girish. So we want to get to a little bit of a method today before we end the call. So let's see who's going next. Samatma. We still have 10 minutes. Samatma.
Shivoham,
And
sir.
yes, Samatma.
Shivoham. Really, as children, we were told that God is someone to be feared. He's a big person who will punish you. There was a male god, female god. Some gods were stronger than the other. And all this fear was put into us. And so that we can concentrate and focus, there was a form made. So you sit in front of that idol and you worship. But now when we realize that the pujaris in the temple who are 24 hours with God, even they are scared because they also don't know that God is within. They are also doing the same mistake. And the concept of this formless God was not there. Only few of us are lucky to understand this, and this formless God gels with us because we realize that God is within. I am God. Then what is the need for me to go into the temple and look for God outside over there? And like people are begging for worldly matters even in temples. So why should we go there? But for that, only when you realize I am God, that's not needed. Till then, a form is needed, and people will continue with the form.
Very beautiful. So here comes the question, Samatma, and some of you felt going to a temple is okay, and some of you felt like Samatma says, why should I go to temple? There is no need to go to temple. Now some people say मुझे मंदिर जाना है, and some people say मुझे अंदर जाना है. तो मंदिर जाना is better or अंदर जाना is better?
Andar jana.
So that is the point. But what I think Girish said, or I think Girish or Shair said, those who cannot go under,
Yeah.
better they go to mandir.
Go to mandir. Yes.
And those who don't know to go to mandir, at least learn to surrender. At least you learn to surrender. Then if you learn to surrender, then you will find under. So there is a big challenge. Thank you, Samatma. You've given a very good perspective. So I'm saying at the end of the call, you all should have a clarity. What is my take on God? Who is my God? Where is my God? What is my God? How should I pray? What should I say to God? What should I ask from God? What is the meaning of bhakti? What is the meaning of mumukshutva? What is the meaning? What is my relationship with God? Oh, there are so many subjects. Don't think it is so simple. Huh? Don't think this whole subject is easy. It's not 2 + 2 = 4. It's not an easy subject. Rekha Parvani, aham sep.
Shivoham AiR.
Yes, Rekha.
Like before realization, a human being imagines God as a form because a human being is in a form in the body. So that is why, like in the beginning, we need this form to get into the bhakti and then realize that we are also not this form. We also are sick. Like we can get this realization only after we actually pray to the form.
So you still pray to God with the form, right? Don't you?
No, now I'm getting out of that. I used to. I won't talk lies. It was still like long time. Even after hearing you, I used to pray to the form. But now I pray through. I realize
So you
that.
understand? Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as, now look at this, what Rekha is one who comes to the temple very often. As long as we are attached to the form, like Ramakrishna was attached to Kali. As long as we are attached to the form, we cannot realize the formless one.
Yes.
Because as long as we are attached to the form, it only means we will never realize that God is not this form.
Yes.
So ultimately, the question is whether we should pray, not pray, fold our hands. Because the other argument is this. If God is everywhere, then God is in the temple also, the church also.
Yes.
So what is the harm in praying? The
Yes.
harm in praying is when you get carried away to the wrong belief, then you will never realize God.
Yes. And I believe when we go to the temple, it's not only we pray to the form, but there is lots of peace. The surrounding becomes very like it's mass prayer, no? Many people are sitting in that meditation, listening to bhajans, so I feel we get extra energy.
So there is no doubt that in places of spirituality there's a vibration with many
Yes.
people praying. But today I hope you all will take home a very deep meaning.
Yes.
See, because every child needs a God to pray. Every child needs a form God, God with form. Very
Because
difficult to pray.
we are realizing so late. So a child will not realize that God is formless. They need a form.
But remember, there are some religions who have a formless God.
Yes.
So we have to contemplate a lot on this subject, and each one of us has to find the way to realize God within. Ultimately, whatever be your method, whatever be your following, whatever be your understanding, ultimately you have to say, Prabhu paas hai, dur nahi wo, Prabhu paas hai.
Yes.
Huh? You have to say, Atma hi Paramatma hai, dil ke andar uska nivas hai. You need to reach that point.
Yes.
You need to reach that point where you find the divine within. Thank you,
Yes. Thank
Rekha.
you.
Aham, we have a few more minutes to go. So Aham,
Shivoham, Guruji, and everyone else on the call.
Yes, follow.
The reason why we pray to a God with a form is because from the childhood we are exposed to one religion or the other, and we continue to grow with that. And the ulterior motive of religious leaders and institutions also don't let us go away, because they will say that this is sinful, you will go to Nark, etc. So we are fearful of that. And moreover, even if we come to know that they say that God is within, but they don't properly explain it, they will say अंदर परमात्मा बैठता है जो हमारे सारे काम देख रहा है, हमारे सर कर्म देख रहा है, नोट कर रहा है. No one explains in proper way, like you have explained, that energy in every cell is actually sick. That is God. So exposure to spirituality is to very, very few people. It's very limited. So that's why they are not able to move out of, praying to a form of God, to a formless God, because lack of knowledge, they don't get the opportunities. And as you often say that less than 1% people are on the path of spirituality. That's the reason they are not able to move out of it. Though now we realize that ultimate purpose is God realization. We have to be liberated, attain moksha. That is the ulterior purpose.
So, therefore, some people are being confused, that whether worship is good or worship is not good. Prayer is good or not, because God is inside, then why do I have to pray? If God is inside me, then I don't need to pray. So do you need to pray? Of course, because you need the help of God to be liberated from this body. You need the help of God to be liberated from avidya. You need the help of God to be to attain that state of moksha, nirvana, salvation, whatever it be. Okay, interesting. Thank you, I am Sip. We have got few more people. Raji, Meenakshi, Krishan, Nichani, Will.
Shivoham Guruji.
Raji, yes.
Yes, even before coming to this call, though we kept on praying, I used to run to temple like anything. If something is there in the temple and I'm not able to go there, I have to go. I used to run. I was working. I used to come from office, put everything like that. I will go to temple. I will say we can do it anything afterwards. First temple. I would run like anything. But nowadays, you won't believe, I am not even able to. Anyway, now I am not well. That is even when I was fine. After coming to this call, I was not. My temple going has completely stopped, because now I can do first. My first aim is first I have to find who am I. Who am I? For that I have to go inside. Going inside. First we have to find who am I. Then that only I came to know from this call. So that is the main thing. That is the purpose of our life. So we have to pray first. Who am I? That is the first question we have to answer. Then what is the purpose? So for these two things, form is not required. So we have to pray for formless. We have to go inside and find out the purpose of our life. That only is my.
Thank you. See, Raji has told it so beautifully. Raji says, I used to run to Mandir, correct? And now she says, I don't need to run because I don't need to run to Mandir. I have to run to Andar because I want to contemplate. I want to discriminate. I want to realize. So see, each one of you has to find the right way. The ultimate goal is very clear. The ultimate goal is SIP, Supreme Immortal Power. The ultimate goal is omnipresent, present everywhere. There is one power. And that power is in you. That power is in me. That power is everywhere. How will we realize that power? Will we realize that power by going to an institution? Or will we realize that power by not going to institution? Or will we realize that power with some other combination? So today is a very deep contemplation.
Which I want to tell one more thing, but nobody has explained like this. This has to be given more exposure, Guruji. Actually, how to tell, I don't know. Nobody knows the meaning of spirituality itself. Only that day when you came and Kishan asked, now even I have started. If anybody asks anything, first I tell, who am I? First you inquire, who am I? That is the main thing everybody should know. Nobody knows that, and simply people are going to temple, running here, running there. I don't know.
Beautiful.
This has to get more exposure, actually.
No, very, very beautiful. And you're right. Krishan made the topic, and that day we spoke. If anybody talks anything, the first subject we have to talk is who am I? If you do not understand self-realization, there cannot be God realization. Therefore, if you want God realization, the first step is self-realization. There is no other way. I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book. The book is titled, it's called God Realization. I have finished half the book. And in that book, I'm saying this. Religion is the kindergarten. Spirituality is the university. We need religion. Any God we pray, no problem. But ultimately, we have to realize God. Ultimately, we have to find out where is God, who is God, what is God. We are fighting in the name of God. When are we going to open our real eyes? For example, Raji, I used to go to temple for 30, 40 years. I was a fanatic. I was so crazy about God in the temple.
Even I was good. You won't believe. One of my friends, she told, okay, now you will not realize, but once you start doing meditation, you will slow down this thing. Because I used to run. I told, no, 24, if I get 1 minute also, I will run away. So she used to tell how to stop you. I told, you cannot stop me. I can do anything, but my temple is priority.
No, that is very good in the beginning. But Raji, there are like you, there are millions like me.
Now once you realize this, you need not go. You need not go at all. You have to go only inside. Only inside.
Yeah, but like you and me, there are billions of people who are mad after God. But they don't understand who is God, where is God, what is God. They don't understand.
They don't get a good teacher first. That also is the main reason, Guruji. They know nobody is there to guide. See, for me also, so many years I have, how to tell you, I could, anyway, this is the right time. Anyway, I got you. I'm very much thankful and grateful. I always thank you daily. I keep on thanking you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Raji. Meenakshi, Krishan, Nichani, Will. Meenakshi, Krishan, Nichani, and Will. Yes.
Sir, I think if form was not shown to me, I would not have been on this call. So I think form is required in beginning. In my childhood, अगर मुझे नहीं बताया जाता कि God नाम की भी कुछ चीज है, तो I would not have been on this path. So form is required for the beginning. But after this call, after realizing, I have not realized yet completely, but I have understood it कि God is within me. Even in our Jainism also, even in our religion also, it is told that आत्मा ही परमात्मा है. Even मुझे लगता है सारे धर्म का सारी यही है. सभी यही कहते हैं कि आत्मा ही परमात्मा है, but कोई ढंग से समझाता नहीं है. Problem is that कि the way which you have explained now, I think more clarity. I am so peaceful. I am so, I'm smiling every time. I don't know why, but I laugh every time. Why? Why so stressed?
Yeah. Because there can be nothing, there can be no greater realization than that the Prabhu is inside you. There can be no greater realization that you are a manifestation of the divine. What greater joy can you get? What greater bliss can you find? And this is the truth. And the truth is only when you go through self-realization. When you go through self-realization, then only the spark will come on.
Yes.
So you're right. In the initial stages, we all need, I believe we all need, or at least most of us need some form, some shape. Even if it's a formless, we need something to relate to.
Yes.
And when you relate to that God, then you can move forward. But I see, so as I told you all, 20 people have given view today. You need to be very clear. You need to be very clear. God. God is not God. God is SIP. Supreme immortal power. Where is SIP? SIP is on every lip. SIP is on every lip. So we have to get this clear. Not knowing, we must realize it. When we realize it, then har insan we will see Bhagavan. In every being, in every soul, we will see God. But that is the challenge of this call. This call
Even
has a deep, profound.
even in my family, my mother-in-law goes temple daily, and she insisted us also, like me and my husband, ki go to temple daily, go to temple daily. But I cannot understand कि मैं उन्हें समझा भी नहीं सकती हूँ कि नहीं ये ऐसा नहीं होता है. There is Prabhu inside you, because she is at that age कि I cannot say anything to her. So like I think कि you do whatever you want to do, I will do whatever I want to do. That's it. So she want to go temple, then
No,
okay.
it's very difficult to convince elderly people. Very difficult. Now we have got Premchandji, is 84 years on the call, 83 years on the call. But he's very clear. Premchandji is very clear what is the concept, but everybody is not clear like that. Thank you, Meenakshi. To close the call, we have got Krishan, Ashok, Will, and Rajendra. We'll close with Rajendra, no more administrator. Krishan, Ashok, Will, and Rajendra.
Shivam Guruji, I have a different opinion on this topic because
Yes, sir.
प्रभु आकार में है या निराकार है, ये सिर्फ मन का एक विकार है. प्रभु तो कण कण में है. For प्रभु, we accept that everything is energy and प्रभु कण कण में है. तो मंदिर में जो मूर्ति उसमें भी प्रभु है. अगर मैं उसको अंधविश्वास मानूंगा तो मेरी आस्था भी चली जाएगी. जो बेस है हमारी स्पिरिचुअलिटी का या हमारे वो जो रिलीजन ने हमारे अंदर नींव डाली थी, हाँ हम अपग्रेड होके स्पिरिचुअलिटी की तरफ जा रहे हैं, अवेयरनेस बढ़ा रहे हैं, बट उसको भी हम फिनिश नहीं कर सकते. वो भी हम आगे आने वाली जनरेशन के लिए सीडी बन रही है. जो मंदिर में जाके प्रेयर कर रहे हैं हम, क्योंकि स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ में आ गए तो हम अंदर के प्रभु को प्रणाम करते हैं. मेरे लिए मेरी आत्मा, ऊपर वाला परमात्मा और आप गुरु तीनों इक्वल हैं. मैं तीनों को इक्वल इंपॉर्टेंस देता हूं. अगर अब मैं बात करता हूं मंदिर की मूर्ति की, मैं मेरा एग्जांपल लेता हूं. मेरे घर में लड्डू गोपाल बैठे हैं जो मेरे बच्चों को बहुत कुछ सिखाते हैं. मेरी वाइफ जैसे मेरे बच्चे को प्यार करती थी वैसे उनको प्यार करती है, उनको नहलाती है, धुलाती है. वो मेरे बच्चों के लिए सीख दे रहे हैं. तो उसमें भी बुराई नहीं है, सिर्फ वहां पे स्टक होना बुराई है. और वो स्टक तब तक होते हैं जब हम गॉड रियलाइजेशन पे नहीं पहुंचते. तो वो भी एक सीढ़ी है, उसको भी इग्नोर नहीं कर सकते, और अपग्रेड होना हमारी ड्यूटी है स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ में.
So what you're saying is correct. The problem is only this question कि लोग जो हैं वो हम किंडरगार्टन में जाते हैं, फिर स्कूल जाते हैं, फिर कॉलेज जाते हैं, यूनिवर्सिटी जाते हैं. लोग तो रिलीजन में हैं 40 साल, 50 साल, 60 साल, 80 साल, मर जाते हैं. वो समझते हैं वो मूर्ति में ही प्रभु है.
वो सेल्फ गॉड रियलाइजेशन नहीं कर पाते क्योंकि उनको पहले सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन करना पड़ेगा, उसके बाद में गॉड रियलाइजेशन होगा.
तो
वो वहां तक होना बुराई है.
तो today's topic is only that, to make us realize worshipping God is good, and we need a God with form to start. But if we don't leave that God and we don't evolve, then we are finished. then we cannot attain God. So this is the realization of today's call, and everybody has to learn from today's call and make a decision. Thank you. Next, please. Is it Nichani, Will, and Rajendra? Ashok Nichani. Will
Shivam
and
Sarji.
Rajendra.
Shivam
Yes.
Sarji. Sarji, 99% of the people don't know that what is God, who is God. They are in ignorance. They don't know that they don't know that kan kan mein Bhagwan hai. Like panchi, pौधे, leaves, stone, anything with the smallest energy particle, even the cells inside your body is a particle of SIP. It is a supreme immortal power. 99% of the people don't know this. They only know that God in the form of like Lord Shiva, Krishna, Ganesha, different names.
So what do you feel then? Then our worshipping God with the form is okay? What is your opinion?
No, we should worship God in any form. Any, like ye chanda, ye tare, panchi, pode sare, ye chanchal hawa, even the clouds, even the wind, everything is God. But 99% they don't accept.
So good. So this is see. So as I told you, so Ashok, where you're
Kan
concerned,
mein Bhagwan.
you go to so many temples. So why do you go to so many temples?
Just Saji, we hear that there is good vibrations in those temples. To have a peace of mind over there, to get the positive energy.
So I told you all in this call today, nobody is right or wrong. Everybody is right. Everybody is perfect in their views. It is for us. Nobody has said anything wrong in the call today. 25 speakers. Everybody has made a very beautiful point. It is for us to pick the essence. It is for us to pick the root. It is for us to understand that God is formless. God is inside. Going to temple is not bad, but not going to temple is also not bad. So it is for us to realize. Like Raji says, no, I don't want to go to temple. Fine. Don't go mandar, go under. Some people say, I go and pray through God. Fine. But understand, and more important, realize the truth. Will, thank you, Ashok. Will and Rajendra, we close. Time is over today. Will and Rajendra.
Vivong, thanks for taking this call. I found myself quite confused with the way the Buddhists use the Buddha stupa. They use it, I think, partly for respect, like you're respecting wisdom, and they also I think they talk about the infinite Buddha, the Buddhas of the past, the present, and the future. But you're saying something different. You're saying to use this statue to pray to go beyond it. But in some ways, I find what the Buddhists do is a bit confusing. I don't know if you've got any, or if you've ever reflected on it, because they use it.
According to Buddha, you should worship a statue, or we should not worship a statue.
Well, I don't think you should really. I think it's really the wrong thing. I like paying respect to people, like people who are your teachers or your parents and so on. I think that you should pay respect, but it's not. But you're saying something quite different.
No, you're paying respect is okay, but do you need to make a statue and put the statue in the monastery and you must worship that statue?
No, I think this is wrong, actually. I think this is the
so
wrong.
Just to tell you, Will, just to tell you something very interesting. I went to a Buddhist temple in Singapore.
Yes.
I went to a Buddhist temple in Singapore. I was surprised. I went into one room and there was 108 statues of one Buddha. And I went to the next room and there was 108 statues of another Buddha.
Oh, really?
And I went to a next room and there were 108 statues of a third Buddha.
Oh, really?
So I wish you Google that. I wish you Google the Buddhist temple of Singapore.
I felt it would be better to put a picture of the eightfold path. That because you're worshiping. If anything, then you pay respect to the teaching.
Correct.
Like that.
So what you're saying is absolutely correct. We need to pay attention to the teachings. You know what, Will, to close my point, Will, I want to give you a small analogy. There was the father who told the child, see, that is the moon. See, that's the moon.
Yes.
And when the mother asked the child to draw the moon, the child drew the finger.
Ah, yes.
The child drew the finger
Yes.
because the
Yes.
child thought this is the moon, not that. This is the
Yes.
moon.
Yes.
So I hope you got my point. Thank you, Will. So we need.
The Buddha also was pointing beyond himself. He wasn't actually pointing, but now it's become accustomed to pay respect to him instead of pointing to he was pointing to the Dhamma actually. So
So what you understood is absolutely correct. The
Yeah.
teaching is important, the realization is important, the nirvana is important, but we
Yes.
have got lost. Everybody in this world is lost, and today's call is to throw light on that. Thank you, Will. Last comment, Rajendra, quickly. We have lost over time. Rajendra, quickly.
Sir, Shobh, sir, I don't think that it is bad to pray from initial stage when you start, because it gives us it teaches us surrender, devotion, and surrender. After that, when you are on the path of this atmagyan jab aapko hota hai, uske baad it is not proper to pray murti, or unless you understand how to pray through the murti. Once you understand how to pray through the murti, through your ishtadev, then it is better. It is okay. Then you should not pray to any form of the God.
So good, Rajendra, you also said what. So I hope everybody, before I close the call, I'm putting this whole thing together, my dear friends. We all need to pray to a God. When we are children, we need a form. But just like we go to kindergarten and go to university, we all of us in our call are not children. By now, we must reach that realization that God is not form. And we should not pray to a form, because if you keep on praying to a form, then you will never realize God is inside you and you are a manifestation of God. If you have prayed to a form, even now, if you're bowing down to a form and praying through the form, it's okay. But remember, God is not made of bone and skin. God is a power that dwells within. God is not a murti. God is Shakti. Bhagwan is an insan. Take these thoughts home, and it's very important on this journey of awakening. I thank you for your presence. I bow down to you.